Okay, here goes. This is Albane for Leather, and we're going to talk about the inner workings of the take-up spring or the check spring on the Cobra Class 4 sewing machine. So here it is. Here's the faceplate is removed off of my machine, and it's clamped up to the table, so you can see the little clamp. And the roller tension device is already taken apart, like in the earlier video discussing the anatomy of the device. So all the parts are laid out on the bed of the sewing machine. Messy shop, but there they are in order the way they come apart. Okay, so the most inner washer, a felt washer, the roller, a felt washer, the outer retention roller, the rolling prevention washer, it's got a D-shaped hole in it, and then the spring, a nut, and the two faceplate screws. Okay, so that's already been taken apart, and now the tension device is exposed and sitting on the table. You're going to need a 10mm end wrench. Okay, and you loosen this nut. I've already had it loosened. Okay, take that apart. There's a washer underneath it. Okay, out comes the nut. There it is, coming down in order. The washer behind it, there that is. And then just grip the bolt itself. Gently pull it out. And you're going to find this on the inside. Let me move the light so we have better light. Okay, this is made up of two springs. Okay, the outer one, which is the one we see all the time, it's a coil. Okay, and then there's an interior one. So the thing to make note is that the inner one has a little J hook in it. It's right there by the tip of my finger. You can see if I can get it. There it is, okay? That little hook is what activates the check spring back and forth. Okay, that's in the inner, the outer spring. Okay, so the outer spring is going around the whole outside. And thing to make note is that the inside of the spring is going into a tiny little hole there. Now it's at 12 o'clock. You see the little hole in the middle of the shaft? Okay, on the edge of that shaft right there, that's thing to make note. Okay, so because I'm doing this one-handed, I'm going to pull the whole assembly off. There's the shaft, and there's the little hole there at 12 o'clock. Okay, so then the inner spring is right there. You can see that little bend that's going back down and away, and the little hook. Okay, so the whole thing comes apart. It's two pieces. I'm having a hard time doing it one-handed. Hold on one sec. There we go. Took it apart. This is the outer spring. It's got a hook in it. This is the part that drives the spring back up, and basically this segment is just holding the wire in place so that it can rock on the shaft. And then there's the take-up that actually pulls the thread slack back down toward the machine. I believe that Brett's machine has this spring is broken. Okay, so that would be a reason for the device to be hanging up. Okay, so when you get new parts, you probably need to replace both of those springs. They go back together. The key point here is to get this hook underneath this piece of wire so that the mechanism will actually work. Let me see if I can stand the phone up here in a way where we can do it. It's just not going to cooperate, is it? I wish I had an assistant today, but everybody's off for the holiday and everything. Oh, here we go. Come on, baby. You going to help me? Oh, yeah. Look at that. 10 fingers. Okay, so there's the inner hook. And it's got to go together like this so that this sits in that cradle. Okay, and then the shaft is going to go up and line that hole up. Crumb. It's going to line that tip of that spring up with that little hole. Am I getting it? Am I getting it? Probably benefit from a set of tweezers. Barbarianism here. Okay, so now you can see, let me see if I can focus, the tip of that spring is in that little hole. Okay, so you see how the whole system activates now. That spring raises the take up. Okay, so now we're going to put it back in the housing. Get to go back to one-handed mode. It's going back in the hole. Okay, and then the end of the bolt is coming out. Here comes the washer. Here's the nut. Okay, so when you tighten that nut, you have to apply enough pre-tension on this bolt by turning it and then tightening the nut so that it actually engages the spring. Otherwise the spring's just kind of flopping around. So by cranking it, the spring's going to develop more tension. Okay, so tighten the nut while adding, maybe like a half a turn or a little bit less, quarter turn. You'll end up figuring if it's really popping back really aggressively, then maybe you back it off a little bit. But so turn the shaft, tighten the nut, put the rest of the assembly back together, test stitch, and there you go. So hopefully that sheds some light on the subject. It's your good buddy Al Bain for Leather, signing off. But going to wish everybody a Happy New Year. We just got through Christmas, so hopefully everybody's taking a minute to service their equipment and get ready for the new year. And we only ask for one thing. Oh, by the way, add a little drop of oil right there when you put the thing back together, so that way it's pre-lubricated. But we only ask one thing. Please pay it forward. Peace. Have a good day. Bye-bye.